Like my last video of the Hoover Dam, this one was also made at the request of my niece Suzanne, who's just got back from a holiday in Las Vegas. We are taking off from Henderson Executive Airport, located about 13 kilometers south of the Strip. This airport is primarily intended to relieve Las Vegas International, McCarran Airport, of general aviation flights that bring businessmen, visitors and no doubt some high rollers to the area. First, may I say, I always imagined Las Vegas to be a small city, akin to Blackpool in England, say, with a population between, say, 100 and 200,000. But once up here, it seemed to stretch forever, and I now find that Las Vegas metropolitan area has a population of just over 2.25 million, about the same as Birmingham in England, which has just under 2.5 million. Before we get to the Strip, I thought that a little history of the area might be of interest. There is evidence of human activity in South Nevada 10,000 years ago, and 1,300 years ago the area was the home of the Paiute Indians. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Europeans came in 1821 when Rafael Rivera scouted the area to open the old Spanish trail route between New Mexico and California. Finding a fertile valley with spring water, he named it Las Vegas, or, being translated, the Meadows. It was an ideal place for wagons and later steam trains to replenish their water supplies, and a small township then built up with a population in 1905 of about 5,000. Just over the next decade or so, Nevada became noted as a state where one could obtain a relatively quick divorce and an even quicker marriage with no waiting period. Bearing in mind what was to happen later, I was surprised to find just how draconian the gambling laws were that were codified in Nevada in 1910. It was even considered illegal to toss a coin to decide who paid for the drinks. This, however, didn't prevent the growth of illicit casinos under the control of organised crime syndicates. And in 1931, the authorities pragmatically legalised gambling. Also in 1931, work on the Hoover Dam began, about 40 kilometres to the southeast, and the town became the main centre for the dam workers' R&R, with casinos and showgirl venues opening up along the town's only paved road, Fremont Street. Things got so bad that it became such a source of worry for senior management that it was decided to build Boulder City to house the workers and their families away from the temptations of Las Vegas. Nevertheless, the city prospered, and in 1941 the first of the big casino resorts, the El Rancho Vegas Resort, was built on the US Route 91 just outside the city's jurisdiction. Others, each with its own Wild West theme, followed along the same section of highway which we now know as the Strip. Over the following years, the mobsters continued to control these lucrative activities, developing ever more luxurious hotel casinos, each with its own theme. And to further attract the tourist, and of course the gamblers, they also booked top talent, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and needless to say Elvis, to entertain the visitors. The net result was good for the city, bringing more and more visitors to the area each year. Even World War II in Europe didn't slow things down. In fact, there was a boom, especially after the war, when over 100 nuclear bombs were detonated above ground at the Nevada nuclear test range between 1951 and 1963. These presented the added spectacle of mushroom clouds on the horizon, often visible from the Strip's hotels. Postcards could be purchased proclaiming Las Vegas as, quote, up an atom city, unquote. The mobster's hold on the strip, however, with all the sleaze, etc., was eventually broken after Howard Hughes booked a room at the Desert Inn in 1966 and liked it so much he bought it together with $300 million worth of other hotels. Then, in 1989, Steve Wynn opened the first mega resort complex, the Mirage. Over the next 20 years, more and more large complexes were built, with the old casinos often having to be demolished to make way for them. The themes becoming more and more extravagant, such as those that we see today: Rome, Egypt, Paris, Venice, New York, etc., etc. End of history lesson. We're now flying over Las Vegas International McCarran Airport, and just below us, disappearing at the bottom of the screen, you may see the helicopter pads where we will be ending this flight. Now let's see just how much of the strip Orbx has modelled for us to see, and what impression it gives of the strip as it really is. The hotel on the left is the Mandalay Bay Hotel, and that to the right, the Pyramid, is the Luxor Hotel with that vertical beam of light from its peak. It's fronted by the famous Sphinx and Cleopatra's Needle. The hotel to the right of the strip that has just come into view is the Tropicana Hotel and Casino Complex. I just couldn't resist it. Looking down to our right is the Excalibur Hotel and Casino Complex. Just coming into view is the New York Hotel and Casino, with the Statue of Liberty in front of it just visible as a silhouette, and behind it, on the other side of the strip, is the MGM Grand. Just coming into view is the Monte Carlo Hotel and Casino, although I now believe it's called Park MGM. Ahead of us is the Bellagio Hotel and Complex, in front of which are its fountains, with what I think is Planet Hollywood to the right. Just passing Paris, Las Vegas. No prizes for guessing that one. To the left now is the Mirage. And on the right, Venice, Las Vegas, with its outdoor gondolas. With the wind to our right here and the Stardust to our left, we seem to have reached the end of the model parts of the strip that are illuminated. After circling around the Stardust, we'll then make the return flight along the other side of the strip before landing at McCarran Airport. approaching Venice, Las Vegas, with the Gondola Lake just below us to the right. Oops, that was close. I really must look where I'm going. One final look back over Tropicana, Las Vegas, before making our landing run into McAllen Airport. All we have to do now is find the helipads where we need to land. There they are, down we go.